I am Jesus Gomez. I am the Strategic Business Executive for the public sector supporting EDU and research. Have been with Google for over 4 years now, mainly helping on the definition and implementation of solutions that bring the next generation of experience for students and academic researchers globally. Next. This is basically the agenda for today. We are just going to highlight the main impact of COVID-19 on education and how that shapes the future, as well as how are some of our solutions that are going to help you to get ready for this transformation and to come out successful of the navigation from this ambiguity that we are living on today. Next. So for those that are not familiar, basically education and research is in Google's DNA. Our co-founders came out from a Stanford lab, and because of that, we truly treat education and research really differently. The way that we invest on it, the way that we engage with those kind of institutions, we pay extra attention and love to this domain. And the reason why people like Google for education and research is mostly for our culture of innovation. If you look at all the technologies that are going to disrupt all the domains in the future, whether it's quantum, artificial intelligence, wearables, driverless car, Google is actually leading the way. And when you are trying to partner with an institution and you want to bring the best innovation to the community that you serve, Google is definitely a safe choice. This is how basically our top education and research institutions are always very kind to work with us. Next. This is how we consider education at Google. 3 main areas. We work with preschool and K12. Your kids, you may be already familiar with Chromebooks, G Suite on K12. The same thing with higher education. Okay, all the graduate programs, undergraduate, professional certificates, etc. And finally, EdTech as well. Okay, EdTech are those companies that deliver services to EDU institutions and academic institutions. Right? So we deliver solution for 3 of these domains to make sure that we bring the best of Google to their student experience. Next. So you already know what happened around March, but basically in numbers for education, what COVID-19 meant was an accelerator agent, where we moved more than 1 billion of students within 2 months to fully online learning. As you can imagine, some institutions were more ready than others to do that shift. But unfortunately, we all were forced to accelerate this transition to the new normal. Next. And in numbers, if you look at the report from McKinsey after COVID-19, this is the main impact that COVID-19 has brought to education in 4 main areas. One is financial. And there is an estimated loss of $19 billion in education. So as you can imagine, there is an imperative now to become more agile and more efficient on the way that you run institution to make sure that you can recover the financial health of your institution as soon as possible. The second impact is on equity, and is when you send students at home, those students that live in families that have low income are greatly impacted, and the equity gap widens. Okay. Indeed, less than 40% of those minority students are actually able to take access to the required equipment that they need for remote learning. So as you can imagine, we all have a responsibility to make sure that we fix this, because we don't want to go back on the equity aspect in education. The third area is student preference, and this was really remarkable. But basically, 32% of the students are now paying special attention to the online capabilities of a university before they enroll. So as you can imagine, you have to make sure that you deliver the same high-touch experience that you deliver on campus across any channel to make sure that you keep attracting and retaining the best students. And the fourth area is about the student experience. And we all learned that we were not as prepared as we thought. Indeed, 75% of the students are reporting that they didn't like the initial remote experience, and they don't even know if they are ready for more. So we have to change that. We have to make sure that they actually complement their on-campus experience with a great online experience to promote their experience to a next level. Next. So if you look at the impact across all the 5 pillars, the solutions that will help institutions to address these challenges and adapt to the new normal are basically in 2 buckets. One are solutions that help to deliver the next generation of experience for students and researchers, so that you can attract and retain the best talent, a diverse talent of students and researchers. The second bucket is how we can help to provide with a more agile and cost-effective operations so that the institution can recover the financial health as quickly as possible. Next. Next. So what we have developed is a set of services that help you in these key areas that will help your institutions to save cost and to attract more students, more tuition fees, and more grant funding from researchers. If you attract the best students and the best researchers and you save costs at the same time, you are gonna set yourself to success in this new normal. How we are gonna do that? First, we are gonna help you to optimize student acquisition. And that doesn't mean only bringing more students to campus. That means bringing the right students, a diverse pipeline of talent, all type of students, even a student with low economic background. The second is providing the best support at any time, so that the students feel engaged and supported, and they feel like, even if they are fully online, they are fully connected to the institution. The third is technology that helps you to track student engagement and make sure that you maximize the satisfaction and the retention. And the fourth is actually helping you to launch new content that is personalized and much more effective, much more quickly. And this is going to help you to bring more programs, more professional certificates, and basically capture as many opportunities as possible. And finally, we're going to help your institution to actually connect much more effectively to career centers and to employers, so that you create that network effect that bring your equity up. Next. So what we have done is basically create what we call it the student success services. It's a set of services that help across this area for the entire academic life cycles. So basically, from the time that the student is looking for information about your institution to the time that they are enrolled, and they go through the academic experience and they end up finding a job. The main differentiator of our services is actually that we truly understand EDU. We know the challenges that EDU is going through. And we know that EDU institutions don't want to switch the technology that they're already using it. They just want to get more value out of the investment that they have already done. So this has two differentiators. First is that all the functionality that we just mentioned is going to be available independently, meaning that you only activate the modules that you need. So you don't need to actually just eat up a bundle of functionality that you are not hoping for. You can activate every module at any time. The second differentiator is that it gracefully integrates with your existing applications and services. So your LMS, your ERP, your CRM, everything is integrated with our services, and you just add a layer of intelligence on top of that to provide a superior experience. You are going to interact with your student across all the channels, whether it is home assistant, social media, your favorite collaboration tool. Everything is integrated and accessible through their channel. And finally, you are not only provided a better service to your students and professors, you are also gaining insights of the interaction that you have. So for example, you can wake up every morning and say, like, what are the top questions that my students are asking? What is the main concern? And where should I focus my time? Next. These are some of the universities that have publicly reported the benefits of adopting these services across the entire cycle. As I mentioned, some of them are doing it to optimize enrollment and attract the best students, others to enhance their engagement and support services, and others just to help to get the students ready for the next generation market. Next. We cannot play the video in the demo, but basically I will just speak at it. This is an example of what we are looking for. This is a solution that is implemented at Strayer University, which basically is an AI student assistant that supports multiple languages 24/7, integrates with their LMS, their ERP system, and they can automate 93% of the questions and operations. Okay. So at any time, if I am on the demo, you will see that the student asks, hey, what is my GPA? What class do you recommend me on the fall based on who I am and based on the major I'm pursuing? Can even ask about tuition, make payments, purchase books. Think about it's a digital gateway that allows the student to get support through your existing services on real time in a personalized way. And this is a tremendous benefit for the student because they feel engaged and connected. It's a tremendous benefit for the university because basically you are offloading 93% of the common task to an automated system, and you can focus your staff on the most complex and important task so that you can provide that personal experience for the rest. Next. Another example is AI Tutor for Personalized Learning, where what we are doing here is allowing you to create automated assessment, automated quizzes and assessment on your existing content. So it integrates with your LMS, with your EdTech platform, and you can upload there your content, whether it's a PDF, it's an ebook, and you can automate the generation of quizzes for your students. And when the student take the quiz, you can automate the assessment so the professor can be focused just on the actual teaching aspect, not much on grading. And this is fantastic for online courses, for prerequisite courses, etc. And it integrates through your existing tools, so it feels total natural. So if you look at the next slide, please. You can see it integrates with Google Docs. So basically, if I'm a student in Google Docs, I can access, I can submit my answer there. I get the answer from the tutor right away with feedback, recommendation. If you provided the wrong answer, you can say like, go back to chapter 2 where you can find this concept. So it just create a much better experience for the personalized learning. Next. In general, there are many of the services. There are some for enrollment, some for support, personalized learning, distance learning as well, and even for campus health, meaning contact tracing, emergency alarm system, etc. But in general, if you are looking to partner with someone that is going to bring that future of education to your institution, you can see the technology where we are working, including immersion experience and virtual reality. With a very low cost device, $10 cardboard, you can bring virtual reality learning to your students. Smart campus initiatives to extend the sustainability that Google Cloud brings, not only to IT system, but to the entire campus. And we are working with partners, content providers, to make sure that we help them to provide the best personalized experience to the student. So based on who I am and my interests, if I need to learn algebra, what's the best content that will help me to ramp up my learning faster? Next. This was all some example of what we are doing in the teaching and learning side of the house. We are also doing a lot of things on the research. Next. We're going to go, for the sake of time, really quickly, but basically the main idea here is that because of the amount of data that all type of research, whether it's life science or social science, is bringing, the competitive grant funding that academic institution goes, researchers need to use cloud services so that they can have access to hardware that they don't have on-prem, machine learning services that they don't have on-prem, or actually security and compliance that they don't have on-prem. So if you enable cloud services in our research institutions, you basically facilitate researchers to bring more grant funding. Because of that, you're going to actually attract more researchers. So it's going to help your brand equity as a research institution. Next. We heard a lot we heard that the Broad Institute and the rest of the top research institutions, NIH, are using Google Cloud. Can you tell me why? These are the reasons why. First, we ensure reproducibility across on-prem and any cloud with a true seamless mobility strategy. Okay, if you look at containers, Antos, we ensure that if you run a pipeline on Google Cloud today, and you had to run it on-prem tomorrow on your local cluster, you get the same result. This is important because 30% of a research budget is currently being wasted on trying to reproduce results. So if you look at a hybrid environment, you really need to go with a platform that provides true hybrid. The second is it aggregates all type of data on its original format and bring the best-in-class real-time analytics and AI to that kind of data. Security and auditability, whether you need HIPAA, FedRAMP, you access now all the possibility in terms of bringing projects and a unique pricing model that actually make extremely cost-effective your research. Next. Just wanted to put this here. Different top institutions are using our research solutions for different functionality. Basically, if you have projects that need to connect multiple institutions, on-prem, different clouds, move workloads around, we are really used to do it even with sensitive data as healthcare. If you're looking to build a hybrid HPC to perform very computing intensive workloads, we are really used to do it. And if you're looking to aggregate data and run real-time analytics and machine learning on that data in a cross-modality fashion, we are really used to do it. This is because the biobanks, NIH, broad institutes are running on Google Cloud. Next. Quick example, Harvard University, basically they bring data from different labs, more than 6 million of records. They need to aggregate those records coming from different systems, different data marts, and run analysis. And the result is that they can do it extremely faster and with a significant cost saving. This is what we are looking for every type of research. Next. This is an example of machine learning applied to all type of data in real time. Emory University in their emergency rooms are collecting different type of data from the patient, clinical data, medical imaging, EHR data. Next, and they can predict on real time when a patient is going to go into sepsis. Not only the prediction, but even making actionable, meaning that we tell you this is the prediction and this is why it is predicted this outcome. So basically the nurse, when it gets that data, that prediction, knows how to act to make sure that the patient is safe. Everything in a compliance way, extremely cost effective. Next. And just to finish, this is an example of what we mean for a modernized institution. An institution that move their entire infrastructure to cloud for teaching and learning, for research, and for enterprise system. All the examples that you saw before. They bring it to cloud, they achieve significant savings per year. And on the top of that, they're providing a better experience to their researchers and to their students. So basically, you are providing a better experience, and at the same time, you are contributing to a financial health of your institution. This is what we are looking for when we partner with academic institutions. And next, and finally, as you can imagine, this may seem like a very complex project, but one of the things that we are very good at is dividing complex projects in easier steps. So the way that we work with this is we partner with institutions. We tell them, okay, based on your priorities and your current situation, these are the quick wins that we can achieve together that bring tremendous value. And then we learn from that and define the next step based on that. What we don't want is to embark in long and complex project where you don't see the return of that project, of the value, until the end of the implementation. We want your student and your professor to start getting value out of this intelligence that you just saw from day zero. And this is basically how we define that transformation journey so that it's flexible and it avoids any type of lock-in to any decision or platform. Next. And that's it.